Alright guys, I'm gonna do a little explanation on what I found after making making those slots or notches on the drums of my series 2. Those are 11-inch diameter drums on that series on the front. I haven't done the back yet, but I've gotten positive results. So I had, obviously I'm gonna draw in the notches of the drum. There's something like that. And then we come around here, that's right. So those drums you'll see on the previous video, I'll link it at the bottom of the description. In the description, I'll have the previous video where I notched the drums, and what I was able to find is I was now able to look down into the brake mechanism as I had the brake pedal. You got the brake pedal tower, and you got your your pedal. And so I had my son step on the brakes, and so I was able to see what was going on in here, right, in the whole mechanism. So I adjusted the snails on each side so that I had a nice grip. It was spinning nicely, it would stop perfect. So then once I adjusted that, then I had him pedal it. So I kept an eye out, and what was happening is that this one here, this snail, was actually tight, and after about 5 or 6 pedals, it would the travel and the adjustment would change. Well, it turns out that the snail had the spring washer broken, and you'll see in the next segment of the video I'll explain everything that was going on with the brakes. So this one was the problem. I put a new spring washer and I welded the snail mechanism back together, and I was able to put it all back together, and I took it out for the test drive, and then it's been about maybe 2 months and the fronts are just perfect. My next thing will be to work on the rears, but you'll see the whole process that I went through on the when I found this snail broken and what I did to remedy it. So from here on out, I'll go on to the video and you'll see what the actual spring and all that information. But this was very helpful to actually help me diagnose by going in through here. I kept doing the adjustment and it would change, and I couldn't figure it out until I was able to see that this was moving when the cylinders were pushing out. You could see the snail walking. So anyhow, that was my remedy. Those old drum brakes, those old drums that I had were so helpful. I mean, they were useless already. They had some cracks, and I acquired a bunch of other drums. So I figured, hey, let's sacrifice a set, and this same set I can use in the rears. But however, I'm waiting for another set. I think I do have another set of the 10-inch for the Series 3 and the 88-inch. So I'll probably be doing the same thing every time I work on my brakes. I'll do the preliminary adjustment, make sure everything's working. Once everything is working, then I'll go ahead and swap and put in the drums on there. So anyhow, I'm gonna go now to the next segment, and you guys will see what happened. Thanks. Alright guys, so found out that after stopping on the last video, on the last shoot, I noticed this thing was way too loose. When I was backing it out, I could back it out back here with my hand rather than the wrench. So I've noticed one important thing. I know this one is supposed to be nice and tight. I'm gonna go to the top view so you guys can see. See that play there? That's a no-no. Because what happens is that you tighten it up, you go down the road, and it walks out on itself. So there's a spring washer in the back, and it's this one here between the nut and the bolt and the back plate. and it's broken. Let me turn it around so you guys can see it. The broken nut is right there. Here you can see the crack right there on the spring washer. Right there. So I'm gonna have to I don't have another one of these old ones, so what I'm gonna have to do is grind this out. And then I know I have one of these locking washers somewhere. I think they're the same one from the tailgates. And so I'm gonna grind this out and then weld it, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. So always like really inspect closely all these snails. I guess I either it happened afterward, or I never, when I did the cutting of the slots, I missed that. But this is a no-no. This will walk right out. That's probably what happened there. It's like walking out as I was driving it, and I would lose the tensioning, and there it went. So these snails are the reason why a lot of people have a hard time with these brakes. Anyhow, I'm gonna address this tonight and weld it, and then start with the backs. Alright guys, talk to you guys on the next one. Bye. You recording? Okay, get closer. Okay, right there, perfect. Alright guys, so here's what happened. I took out the snail adjuster for the brake. So obviously this goes here. Yeah, keep the camera in the middle. There you go. So here you go guys, I found it. So this is the snail. Not too close, put it back. Right there. I'm showing my son how to record. Make sure you keep, there you go, make sure you keep it in the middle. Okay, so we got this. This goes on the brake pads. This is the spacer basically. And then this goes on the other side, on the back plate. And just a washer, it goes here. But then you got a spring-loaded washer that keeps the tension. And here's the problem. It broke. So I think it's the same one. It might be a little different. I think they're different actually. And so we're gonna find this one and replace it. So we're gonna go into our box and see what we can find. All right, see you guys on the next one.